We've already discussed how it's not only important to grab your reader's attention, but also keep it and make them want to read more. This is where understanding how human psychology works when it comes to being intrigued and needing to know more, and where the clever, stealthy techniques that make your writing not just good, but incredibly persuasive and effective really take hold. You want to write copy that creates an itch that only taking the action you want them to take can scratch? Well, there are a few powerful techniques you can use to make that happen, including an open loop, future pacing, confront the unspoken objection, benefit stacking, amplification, and ellipses. Let's talk about all of them a little more in depth. An open loop. Think of an open loop like an open tab on your browser. An open loop is an idea or a problem that can only be resolved in your readers' heads when you present the thing that resolves it. Put more simply, you provide the answer that scratches the itch for them. It's like planting a seed that you come back to later in the content. You can create an open loop at any time simply by adding a phrase like, "more on that in a moment," or "but we're getting ahead of ourselves" to the end of a sentence or paragraph. There are many ways you can do it, so get creative with it. Using this technique enables you to connect two completely different concepts together, like features or benefits, or problems and pain points, without having to explain why you're doing so immediately. However, you need to make sure you actually come back to the point later in the copy to close the loop, and when you do, you can refer to it like, "remember when I said," just like I did to start this lesson. Again, there are many ways you can do it. Be creative. Confronting the unspoken objection. Another great way to keep someone engaged in a story is to confront the unspoken objection in their mind. You can use a transition statement like, "so what does this have to do with you?" Or, "why should this matter to you?" And then follow it up with, "I'll tell you," or, "for starters, it," and then proceed to tell them how the benefits of your product or service can help them. Why does it work? Because you are confronting the conversation they are already having in their head like you are reading their mind. Remember, it's like having a conversation with a friend and they only care about what you can do for them, so call it out when you need to. Future pacing. Future pacing is when you make the person speed forward ahead in their timeline in their head to get them to envision their results using your product or service. You can also use this technique to get them to envision what will happen in the future if they don't use your product or service. Stacking. Stacking is where you combine all the features and benefits or problems and pain points into one sentence. You can do this in your hook and you can do this in your copy. It helps really hammer home either positive points or negative points. For example, build massive muscles and shed body fat with ease without going on a diet. Amplification. Amplification is a fantastic technique to transition one statement to the next and works well to keep your readers engaged. When combined with stacking above, it's like your story has a magnetic field drawing readers closer into the irresistible force of a black hole, leaving them no choice but to keep reading. And it's really easy to do, just like that. You see, that simple little phrase is all it takes. It's powerful, and it's a perfect transition to get to the next statement, which keeps people glued to the page or listening to your video. Some others you're likely to be familiar with are, "but wait, there's more," or "but that's not all." Here's an example of the two previous techniques used together. Build massive muscles and shed body fat with ease, all without going on a diet. But that's not all. You'll also have all-day energy and sleep like a baby. It doesn't take a lot of text to get your points across and keep people reading. However, it does require clarity about your product, the problem it solves, your customer, and the goal you're trying to accomplish with your content. Ellipses. Ellipses are those three little dots at the end of a sentence or a statement that conveys there's more to come. It's so effective at keeping people engaged that even tech companies use this in their text messaging systems to show that the person you are texting is writing you a reply. These are just a few clever, stealthy techniques you can use to make your writing not just good, but persuasive and effective. There are many more, and you'll learn more with time, but those can help you get started right away writing persuasive copy that sells. Now let's talk about the hottest topic of the year, AI. AI is all the rage, and for good reason. It's an incredibly powerful tool, and although still in its infancy, the rate at which it's improving is staggering, but it does have limitations. These limitations are exactly what give you the upper hand when using it. Because once you understand them, while other people are using ChatGPT and other AI writing tools to pump out garbage content that doesn't connect with the reader and doesn't sell products, you'll be using it to improve your workflow and supercharge your productivity. There are many people who think that AI will completely replace direct response copywriters. However, I'm not one of them. It will certainly replace some, but those replaced will be the people who do not adapt and do not learn how to harness the power these incredible tools provide. Why do I believe this? Because AI does not have access to sales data. It does not think like you and I do. It can be trained to think and write in a certain way, but that takes time. It takes sales data in the form of actual copy that has sales data which you or anyone else has to feed it. Right now, there are many people relying on ChatGPT to produce content for blogs, emails, product descriptions, and more. They'll type in a basic prompt like "I need a blog about XYZ," and ChatGPT will produce a bunch of text. The problem is that it is trained on language models that are not up to date, and it is only searching available text from the language model it's been trained on. So while it may produce text and writing that is readable, it is very basic in its structure, often filled with facts and information that is incorrect. The copy AI produces right now doesn't contain psychological triggers that move the needle in terms of sales, and it still needs to be manually verified and fact-checked by humans for accuracy. Another concern with AI content is plagiarism. This is why it needs your human touch to rewrite it. There's a legal and ethical line that needs a human touch to navigate. These are huge limitations that may change in the future, but now just knowing this little bit of information already gives you the upper hand over the people using it who don't know. This is why using AI as a marketing assistant to write a rough draft or spin up variations of your content is a better use of the technology, at least at this time. AI is like having a super smart marketing assistant who never gets tired and does exactly what you ask of it. Embrace it. The key is treating it like an assistant and providing it clear instructions in your prompts for what you expect of the output. One great thing I've learned using AI tools like ChatGPT is that it actually helps me write more clearly. Because if the AI cannot figure out what I'm asking of it in my prompt, then the reader will be confused too. Make no mistake, if you use AI tools like a marketing assistant to write a rough draft or spin up variations of your content like we've discussed, it can really improve your ability to write high quality, persuasive sales copy at scale. So learn how to use it properly. Learn how to write clear prompts so that it provides you a solid foundation to work from. It will make all the difference in the world in your productivity.